Hey Aquarius, how's everybody doing? Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Okay, so we're starting off with the King of Swords and the Page of Pentacles over here. It looks like you're being called to action. An important conversation may be coming up. An important announcement is going to need to be made. You have to call something out, or you're even, like, for some of you, you can be like in the spotlight or on some type of platform, and you need to be open with like how you're using your voice to like communicate, or I'm hearing transmit. I'm also hearing transmute. Maybe transmit as in like dialogue, communication. Maybe a situation that you're transmuting as well. It seems like you have to be patient with how you're using your voice, like, again, either to have a conversation or to call someone out, or someone, interesting, or something out. I see the first card of the spread as being really important, so this is all about the way that you're using your voice and how that's really going to help you out in a situation. So this is about like being pretty bold vocally and like really not holding yourself back, like having tact, of course, with the way that you're delivering something, but also like making sure that you say everything that's needed. And maybe you want to think about something like before you hop to saying something, so it can be like a complete thought. You may be patiently building something or working on something. For some of you, this is about like your finances or your stability, or this can be like a goal that you're getting ready for, or again, like something that you're looking to achieve. It may be unfolding kind of like at a set pace, even with the Seven of Pentacles here. It really looks like you're channeling your energy into goals that you have. 3D material goals. Yeah, here you are under the King of Swords, Aquarius. It looks like there's healing work that you're doing. For some of you too, this can be about a vision that you have. I'm hearing contemporary, maybe something contemporary that you're doing. It looks like you feel called or guided to use your throat chakra. So this can mean like getting up and saying something, like making some sort of statement, having an important conversation that you feel is very much guided, or you even communicating something that needs to be communicated. But this can also be like part of your path. This can be something more official. Can be a personal project even that you're working on. It seems like you being well adjusted when you're doing this, and when I say that, I mean like this is about using your voice in a very profound way with the star underneath it. So this is something that you feel very guided to do, very called to do. Like your intuition is very much leading you through this process as well. And like really trusting yourself too. For some of you, you can be doing work like some type of healing work with your voice. This may be like part of your soul mission. So this can be like talking to people, like therapy or guiding people, advising people, things like that. I am seeing, I'm hearing an important relationship. You may be bringing a vibe of healing into a relationship. Maybe that was lacking like direction, or there were things that needed to be resolved. I'm looking at the Justice card. This can be some type of like legal commitment that you have. It can also be something spiritual too. Like this can be a spiritual contract that you have with someone, or even a karmic contract that you have with someone. For those of you that this is about, like having a conversation within an important relationship for you, like I'm seeing that you wanting to do this in the most, you doing this in the most mature way, like from the most healed and grounded energy, is going to like give you the best result. Because it seems like you're waiting for like something to happen, or for something to take effect even within a relationship that you have, waiting for something to come about. It seems like you're in a space right now where like things aren't completely materialized or solid for you, or you don't know exactly the direction that things are going to go in, but you want it to be balanced. Because it seems like you have like personal slash specific goals in mind of the direction that you want something to be going in. Yeah, I'm looking at a message being sent. For some of you, you may be dealing with another Aquarius, you may be dealing with a Libra. Remember, we all have Aquarius and Libra somewhere in our charts. For some of you, like maybe a specific person, I'm seeing a Libra is going to be messaging you. Not for everybody. I'm also looking at the Sun. This can be Leo. Someone that's got a lot of 5th house energy going on. I am looking at an ending. Maybe you wanted to be prioritized by somebody that wasn't prioritizing you in the way that you wanted to be prioritized, and it looks like you come to a realization, or like even acknowledge that if you want to be happy, that something needs to come to an end because something isn't doing it for you anymore. It's like this could have been something that started off like fun, or like didn't really have a commitment aligned to it, and now there's a sense of that not working for you any longer. Maybe too, you could be dealing with a relationship and be like, I need to be prioritizing other things in my life right now. And this doesn't have to be an official relationship. This can be anyone that you're interacting with, but you may realize that like you have other concerns or things that you want to be focusing on right now. And for whatever reason, the way that things are working out between you and another person, it's not going to be something long term. But you may be waiting on the timing, or like waiting for the right time to end this in a way where you feel like it's like justified for the situation. So it seems like this is something that this ending has not happened yet, but it's going to be happening, and you may know this. Like you may be in something right now and be like, I know that this isn't the right fit for me, but it's also like the not the right timing yet for me to do this, so I need to wait until it is the right timing. And maybe it's because you really want to formulate the message correctly that you want to be sending someone. And like to also do it from a place where you don't have a chip on your shoulder, because I'm seeing too like you may be salty about something, but it's always like self-reflective. Like you may be disappointed with something that like you did or something that's going on, or like a situation that you find yourself in. And so you want to make sure that like when you have a conversation with someone that you're not pointing fingers, and that you just like get to the point and do it in a balanced way that you are ultimately going to feel good about. Yeah, something is coming to an end. Definitely difficult. Definitely a feeling of, like, for some of you feeling heartbroken. But knowing, too, that this needs to happen. And I mean, this may be on your end and the other person's end, or, like, on one person's end. But I'm seeing there's definitely a sense of, like, this being a somewhat painful process. But it's something that you're for sure going to be able to find your way through. Yeah, it seems like priorities are not matching up with someone, and that the plan is to be sending a message to them to elucidate things. This may be the plan in your head, and you may also know that you're getting to this point, but you haven't taken action yet. I'm looking at Aquarius, the Sun, and Libra. Remember too, for example, if Aquarius is your Venus, this can also be talking about your person's Venus sign. So keep that in mind as well. Don't get distracted by the zodiacs. It's more so about like the information and the message. I am looking at the Magician. It seems like it's up to you to make something happen. For some of you, this may be affecting things going on for you at work, or you feel impacted in some way, like with your job. Maybe also things that are falling under your responsibility to take care of or to take action with. For some of you too, like you're being guided to step up and like communicate something, and this can be like within your job too. Like you could be advocating about something, or like needing to pass on information, or like commuting, things like that. Or just make something big happen that may feel a bit stressful right now. It seems like you have a lot that you're taking care of. For some of you too, this is about building your career and feeling the weight of that. I'm hearing labradorite. I think that's a stone. Okay, so for some of you, you may be doing a job and a concern about compensation is coming up. This may be too, like you're being guided to make sure that you're being compensated for what you're doing, to make sure that like your values are in alignment with what you're doing career-wise. And if it's not working out for you, or if it doesn't feel how you want it to feel, to figure out like whether this is something you want to keep doing or if you want to move on from it. Because something may not be meeting your standards, and so you may be looking elsewhere. Yeah, I'm seeing like a deep reflection when it comes to your values. This is like how you value yourself, how you expect to be treated. Like, are you being paid enough for what you're doing? Energetically, is it something you want to be involved in? Do you feel like you're being treated fairly for like what you're giving also? Something seems like a burden. So you may be figuring out like how you can readjust, recalibrate in a way where you do feel like you're being compensated, or if that's not an option, to like actually leave something. I am seeing this be tied to your finances here with the King of Pentacles. Yeah, you have to make a decision. It looks like a big decision that's going to be made. It looks too like this is about who you're working with. I'm also hearing how you're working with them. I'm hearing labradorite again. I'm pretty sure that's the name of a crystal. So I'm seeing judgment called, which is like really analyzing something and making a final decision with it. It's like getting to the point where like you can't really go backwards from this. So I'm hearing trademark. It looks like for some of you, this can be figuring out who you want to be working with, because I'm seeing the judgment card. So it's like making a decision after really thinking about this, because I'm seeing this trailing after the Hermit. So it's something that you've been like really mulling over. It's about like who you're working with, who you're exchanging energy with. This can be something official, like business related, but this can also be people in your life too. And about some type of offer. So it can be like you may be picking different people that you want to be working with or interacting with and trying to figure out like who's the right person. I'm seeing like a sense of stability and compensation be concerned here, but this can also be energetic compensation, does not have to be financial. Remember, things can come through like metaphorically as well, and that may make more sense. It looks like there's some type of trade-off. You're looking for stability, and there may be something going on within the environment that like doesn't completely align with what you're trying to build towards. And this is about you being honest with yourself and trying to figure out whether or not like someone or something is truly a right fit for you. And if it I'm hearing meets the mark, so like meets your standards or your expectations even, or what you want. This can be too like picking a job or a company. It looks like you holding on to as much stability as you can find and like reaching for that. That's going to bring you the most happiness. Like it seems like there's a really big need to be grounding right now. Like a lot of reflection that's needed, a lot of analysis that's needed about the decisions that you're making moving forward, who and what you want to be involved with, whether this be people within your personal circle, things going on at work as well. Taking your time to organize this stuff right now is going to be important, because it seems like things are really going to take off or speed up for you. So like settle into this and give yourself the time that you need, because it seems like you may be in a little bit of a lull right now, but that's not going to be long lasting. So like take advantage of this while you can. Completing a cycle, starting something new. It looks like you're going to be working on something new, going in a new direction. You're going to be getting clarity on this, or some type of news you've been waiting for. Yeah, it looks like I'm seeing you in the place of the Magician. You're being guided to call judgment on what you are starting right now. So it feels like you are in a place where you, like, I'm seeing somebody standing, and in front of them there are like 4 different doors that they can pick from, and this is going to be the new cycle that you're entering into, and you get like a snapshot or a preview of what's behind each door, and you're gonna have to make a decision and pick one, and that's the direction that you're gonna be going in. That's the cycle that you're going to be like following for right now. And for some of you, this may be calling you to do something new or start something new. Like I'm seeing for some of you, you could be stepping into like a different career path, or doing your job differently, or developing something differently. It seems like some type of title that you're acquiring. Figuring out who you want to be working with, whether this is like coworkers or even companies or clients, things like that, and what you want to be working on, what you want to be starting. So there may be like a new team that you're getting together with, a new project that you're starting on, or something that you're continuing to build on. It looks like something you're excited about. For some of you too, there's a sense of waiting for some type of offer to come through and see if you're going to be, like, I'm hearing meeting the mark again. So it's like, are you going to be compensated? Like, can you give as much energy as is expected of you, like in this role? So it seems like out of the options, this is all about like sizing them up and seeing what's right for you, and like really reflecting on that. Wow. It looks like for some of you, this is a dream project that you're going to be working on. Something that you've really hoped for, something that you've really wanted, something that's finally coming to fruition. Definitely a lot of joy and stability within this. So you're being guided to make the decision like more so based off of rationale than anything, with the Queen of Swords here. So this is about like being really analytical and decisive as well, and really reflecting and being like, what is actually going to bring me a sense of joy and happiness? Like I'm seeing that be the main decision, which is interesting because there's a reflection that's needed right now with the Hermit. So this is about you like really thinking about like your pursuit of happiness here, and then like being decisive with what it is that you find. So this is bringing together like your heart and your spirit, and also your mind frame as well, your psychology, with how you're going to make this decision, and getting like all of those aspects of you to work on the same page. And to like make sure too that you're like protecting your pursuit of happiness. And like what type of environment you want to be in as well. What you're getting yourself involved in, what you're committing yourself to. It seems like this was something kind of slowly developing or more slowly moving, and that this is going to be like a big chunk or chapter or cycle for you. Like something long lasting, it appears to be. I'm hearing music. I'm looking at Mercury, Virgo, Pluto, Saturn. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.